One of the most important things to consider in wood turning is grain direction. Before you put your tool to the piece of wood, you need to consider the grain and how you're going to be cutting into it. In a spindle blank like this one, the grain is running the length of the lathe bed. In a bowl blank like this one, the grain is running across the lathe bed, turning it this way. So working with a spindle blank like this one,
nice,
is very similar to working with a pencil like this one. When you want to sharpen a pencil with a cutting tool like this one, it's very easy to do with one hand, as long as you consider the grain direction. Cutting from the outside towards the middle to a point is easy as drinking water, I'd say. Cutting the other way, I gotta be careful not to cut my fingers here. Cutting the other way from the middle of the pencil out towards the outer edge of the pencil, it's gonna tear out fibers, and in wood turning this would be a catch. Now with the safety goggles on, let's cut a cleaning cut across the end grain to get us started here. When we're shaping the end of a spindle blank like this, the method of entry is super important. Cutting straight into end grain with a live edge, that is an edge with no bevel support, is a recipe for disaster, really. Let me show you. You are putting your cutting tool, my gouge in this instance, under a lot of stress. Cutting into the end grain is much harder on the tool than cutting across the end grain and peeling the side grain away. Now secondly, putting a live edge against the end grain, a live edge being an edge going upward into the grain with no bevel support, into end grain, is going to give you an instantaneous catch. When we're starting a cut into end grain on a spindle blank like this one, we want to use what's called a soft entry. A hard entry would be putting a live edge pointing upwards into end grain. We're going to get a skidding across the face. We're going to get a catch like just before. We want to use a soft entry. A soft entry would be a cut where we put bevel support on the wood before we present the cutting edge to the wood. Now once we start cutting into the wood, we're going to maintain bevel support throughout the cut to steer the cut with our tool handle. When we use this method, the tool handle is going to move as much as needed for the direction of the cut to change. Now, if we're cutting straight across, the tool handle doesn't move. It just follows this edge straight across. Now, if we're cutting a bead or a cove, we're going to have to change the direction of the cut by moving the tool handle. So during this cut, a few different things are happening. From here to here, I'm cutting quite a bit into endgrain. I'm still cutting across because I'm going at, let's say, about 45 to 50 degrees across endgrain right here. And then around this point, I start going much more across, like straight across, just like a cleaning cut. So this cut from here to the middle is much easier on the gouge than from here to here. But with good bevel support, and if I just avoid pushing the gouge too hard into the cut, I'm able to get this really smooth finish and no torn fibers. Great finish.
Nice. Nice.
Absolutely perfect, I would say. Now, one very important thing to note is how the gouge is cutting. The gouge is cutting the wood fibers at the very point of the tool. And it's shoveling away or peeling away fibers at the lower wing of the tool. The top wing of the tool is never ever engaged when I'm cutting into endgrain. It's very rarely engaged at all. And especially in these cuts here, never engage the top wing. That's going to grant you an instant catch, and that's going to be a leverage catch, and we're not going to be able to, that's just going to throw the piece off the lathe. cut with the point and shave away or peel away with the lower wing. All right. So with that said, that's gonna be it for this video. It's very basic, very fundamental, but if you don't heed to these laws, your spindle turning is going to be quite lacking, I assume. See you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe, of course, to the channel, and ring the bell below the video over there somewhere. Click the bell. It's a notifications bell, so you're gonna get notified every time I upload a video. And if you're not even logged into YouTube, so you can't like, you can't comment, what are you doing even? I mean, everybody's doing it. Come on, guys. Over half of the people on the planet have access to social media now, and over 2 billion people are active monthly users on YouTube. Why are you not one of them? Come on, create an account, log in, like, subscribe, stay connected. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.